All right, hi everybody. I'm gonna let everyone kind of join for a few minutes behind me. Bear with us as this is like our first on the site live with a tripod and microphone. I have my computer here to look at some of the questions as well. My name is Hannah. If you're just joining, I'm at the Ocala Showcase. You can actually see behind me, we've got our owners here meeting everyone up close and personal. So let me take a look at my questions as well. We're going to be talking to trainer Ciaran Dunne. He's the owner of Wavertree Stables, who's been handling all of our 2-year-olds except for one last night, who has been with Kenny McPeak's farm. So we're going to be talking to him. We'll also be talking to Michael Behrens, CEO and founder. So let's take a look. I see I have about 57 people. This is great. I think I lost Michael for a second. We've got Ciaran right here, so I definitely am going to grab Ciaran shortly, but I'll tell you a little bit about how today's going. It's been really great to see all of our owners. I know a lot of you wish you could be here. We're missing you, but that's why we're trying to make this just as interactive as possible for those who couldn't make it with this live Q&A. So it's been a really great day. You can see some of the horses behind me, and we've got the fillies on that side, colts on this side. So it's been really exciting to meet all of them because I've only met a few of them, but it's just so exciting to see their personalities and everything. So let me grab Ciaran and then we'll get started with these questions. Ciaran, can I grab you? All right, so see, got our little mini mic. We got our owners here, everyone's here.
Say out every time. Good to see you. Good
All right, we're live. Now you put that on. This is Ciaran Dunne. Thank you for joining us.
2 thumbs down.
There you go.
Okay.
Perfect. All right. Got people watching. We've got our questions up. So like I said, Ciaran, this is our live Q&A for those at home who couldn't join us here today. So,
shame on you.
So this one's specific to Secret Crush. This person asked, Secret Crush Cross suggests he'll do best at a sprint distance. Do you think he will excel sprinting or will want more distance?
You know, my initial thinking would be the further he goes, the happier he's going to be. He's a big horse, big strided horse. He doesn't, you know, his natural rhythm is a longer stride. He doesn't turn his stride over quick enough to give me like an indication he would be a sprinter. So I'm probably totally wrong, but I would think 2 turns will be his go-to distance.
What are the signs that you see that a horse has high potential when they're so young as 1 or 2?
You know, I mean, I think we all look for the same things in terms of, you know, you're looking for an attitude to where, you know, they're inquisitive and enjoy what they do and are somewhat aggressive in their training without getting too hot or upset about it. You know, a lot of horses are really aggressive, but they tend to get in their own way in terms of, you know, they get too antsy. And, you know, we're looking for horses who enjoy their job, but don't get like too keyed up about it. You know, we all want them to move a certain way. You know, I think most people like to see a horse who moves out from their shoulder rather than sort of has a lot of knee action. But, you know, it's all guesswork really at this stage. I mean, just if they can stay healthy, then they got a shot.
This is probably one of the most questions we received. How do you know when a horse is ready to move to the racetrack?
You know, it depends. You know, we tend to handicap the trainers a little bit. You know, some trainers like to get a horse that's, you know, fairly well along in their training in terms of, you know, they want them to have worked like a half mile at least, so that they can get them right into their program and move right along with them. Other trainers like to get them earlier. You know, they like to develop them into their pattern. So depending on who they're going to go to has a large say in when they leave. And then, you know, obviously we won't send them out, you know, unless they're doing well, they're healthy, they're happy in what they're doing, and they're ready to do the work that that trainer wants them to do.
That makes sense. So this person started off with a compliment. They said, first off, the videos that you and my racers have been providing are excellent, very educational, as well as giving a good look at our babies. So thank you. Then the question is, many of our previous crops of 2-year-olds don't make it to the races until well into their 3rd year. Injuries aside, what are the specific traits or behaviors that separate the precocious from the late bloomers?
Well, I think that precocious is the key word there. I mean, a lot of times, you know, and look, I'm just this is a guess or whatever, but my racehorse are trying to develop a classic type of horse. They're looking for a horse to go 1.25 miles. Those horses usually are bigger, leaner, and they're not necessarily sprinters. So if you try and run them early and then run them long, you're defeating your own purpose or knocking a square peg into a round hole. So I think that would probably be the biggest thing is, some horses' pedigrees and their physical attributes, they're just earlier and they mature earlier physically and mentally, and those are the ones who run early. So in your question, the precocious ones are the ones who run early, whereas the two-turn horses tend to take a little longer.
So you have a bunch of our 2-year-olds right now. I've seen a few videos of you with Enchante. I know you can't necessarily say you have a favorite. Maybe you can. Who would you say, if you could pick one of the colts and one of the fillies, has been your favorite to kind of watch over the last few months?
Patsy's Kim, Lady Blitz. Look, she's a horse that you'd love to watch train every set, every day. I mean, she's always been faultless, does everything right. She's a great mover, got a great attitude. So just from that perspective, yeah, we enjoy her every day. Of the colts, I kind of enjoy Smart Shopping, Seize the Grey, I guess he's called now. Because he's got a little bit of attitude. He's got his own mind about things, and it's been kind of fun to watch him. He was really good when he initially started, and then he got a little bored, lost interest in it, and since he's come back, he's kind of come back different again. So those kind of things, make it fun for us. But they're all different, and we try to enjoy them all in their own way. I mean, and the Nyquist Enchante, she's one more night. Is that her name?
No, she actually will be announced on Monday, her name.
Oh, okay. So we don't have a name for her yet. But yeah, so, she was kind of cool because we thought initially she was going to be tough. And she's actually turned into a sweetheart. I love Sorachi. I sound like a broken record, but, they're all different in their own ways. And there's things that we enjoy about them all. And like your kids, there's things we dislike about them all.
I'm going to leave you with one more question. What sires have most impressed you this far with the 2-year-old crop? What are some of the traits you avoid when you're looking to buy or train?
That's a tough one. The first season sires, there's not that many of them this year. They're not a huge group like there was last year. We like the audibles from a very small sampling of what we have. Omaha Beach is another horse. We have quite a few of those, and they're big, pretty good moving horses. They probably be my 2 of the first season sires. In terms of what we like and what we don't like, I mean, first impressions for me are everything. Curb appeal. I might have a little ADD, so it's for me to look at a lot of horses and go through them in the sales. First impression is everything to me. If they walk out and I don't like them or they don't give me that sort of feeling, I tend to walk away, for better or for worse. There's some stallion lines. We're a big fan of the Indian Charlie sire line. So anything with Indian Charlie gets a special extra look.
I love that. All right, well, Ciaran, thank you so much. I'll take this from you really quick.
There you go.
Everyone, that was Ciaran Dunne of Waver Tree Stables. Thank you so much. As I said, thank you for tuning in. We're using our new little mic. I'm going to give this over to Michael Behrens, our CEO and founder. Thank you all for your questions. All right, Michael, welcome to our live.
Thank you. Excited to be here.
So thank you to everyone who submitted their questions. I'm going to start with a few that we picked. So first one, which I think is really fitting. When will more horses be available for ownership? Do you plan on having more options this year?
That's a well-timed question. So as of last night, we just launched 2 additional offerings made up of 3 horses. So yep, you can go to the website right now. You can read all about them, watch the videos, see the pedigrees, check out the financials, see if it's something for you. If you like it, you can indicate interest. And as soon as we're qualified by the SEC, we'll send you the notification that they're available to be part of. So we're super excited by them. So hopefully check it out and see if you are as well.
And if you guys saw, I did go live earlier with Kindle. That's the American Pharaoh that's new to the site as well. So you guys can see him up close and personal later. Michael, second question. So if a horse never makes it to the races and is not sold at the special sale, did the buyer just lose the investment?
It's a good question. So yes, I mean, the horse racing is risky. It does happen. It's actually a thoughtful question and a real question, because that's kind of why we do what we do. Horse racing can be expensive to get involved in ownership. Some horses don't make it. We want to do right with the horse, and if the horse is potentially in a situation with an injury that they can't run, then we'd more rather retire them and have a good second career than put too much stress on them and kind of ruin it. So, but the question I think really kind of goes at the heart of the My Race Horse business model, which is if we do have a horse that is resold, whatever the resale value is shared pro rata, even if it's a loss, and then whatever money is remaining in the account in the reserve, that reserve is just a cash account that we keep for all the bills, and so we return that at the end of the career. So even if your horse never ran, wasn't even sold, and we just retired and we had to give the horse away to find a safe, happy home, that money that's in the reserve would actually get transferred back pro rata to the shareholders. So it's unlikely that it would ever be zero.
Third question: what are the factors that goes into who the trainers will be for each single horse you buy?
So it's a good question. So there are some where we go into it knowing exactly the trainer we want, because either you, the owners, have said this is one of our favorite trainers. They're usually only from a very small select group that we've actually chosen to kind of fit the My Race Horse program. But like everyone knows, we have probably 24 that we work with. And then if we decide we're going to a sale for a specific trainer, then we will partner a lot of times with a specific bloodstock agent. We'll actually bring the trainer out to have them help select the horse. So a lot of times you're trying to, if you have a trainer in mind, you want to go find a horse that fits their profile. They may be really good at long on the grass. They may be really good with a precocious horse. They might be good with speed or maybe versatility. Maybe you don't know what you have with the horse. So that's kind of the intentionality. If you have the trainer in mind, you hire the bloodstock agent, you bring the trainer, you find a horse that fits their profile. Vice versa, sometimes we will not name it, and we know it's a little frustration when you guys see the TBD, but sometimes we find a really nice athlete, a really nice horse that we're not quite sure who is going to fit them best. So instead of rushing it, we'll actually send it down to Ciaran or somebody like that and have them train the horse and tell us kind of how the horse is progressing, what type of program they think is going to go well. So we know it can be frustrating to have the TBD there, but actually a lot of times it's in the best interest of the horse. We're going to send it to an amazing program of good horsemen, and they're going to give us the knowledge that helps us figure out where the horse is going to go next.
All right, this next question I thought was kind of fun, and also I want to point out again, thank you everyone watching. I see someone in Alaska, I see someone in Hawaii. This is amazing. When our filly on Shante 21 wins the Kentucky Oaks, how will the purse be divided?
Love the question. Great question. All right, so when on Shante, when she wins the Oaks, it's pro rata. So the reality is that there is a kind of fee that we take, which is usually 10% from it, and the 90% is then redistributed back to all the owners. So if you bought 1 share, you get 1 share's worth of dividends. If you bought 10 shares, you get 10 shares. So it's really just like any other fractional kind of interest. Is there's, if everybody owns 1%, there's 100 people, then we distribute it back at 1% at a time. So it's all done pro rata. It's with the 10% fee taken off from us and then redistributed.
All right, I won't take too much of everyone's time. I know we have Valletta coming up, and we're all excited to watch her at Gulfstream Park. Second to last question: what happens when our horse is retired with My Race Horse?
I mean, this is a super important part of the whole process. We only get to have these horses in our care for a couple of years if we're lucky, but they live for 25 and 30 years. And so that second career that we talk a lot about, a lot of times referred to as aftercare after the races are over. It's a big part of our program. It's a big part of our energy. Our partnerships are kind of solidified to make sure that when these horses are retired, they can go find that second home. Sometimes they're going to be a pony horse. Sometimes they're going to be go on to a second career in terms of jumping. So they can. There's a lot of different ways that a horse can thrive and do well after racing. And a big part of why maybe we're a little bit slow on our horses, we don't push as much on our horses, is we want to make sure that when this racing career is over, they're still young and they still want to go be athletes and they still want to be a hunter jumper. They still want to go on and compete. And so we want to put them in a physical, environment, a physical state that they can go do that. So it's a big part. We share lots of different ideas and different things that we've done. So we hope you follow them throughout their racing career and post-career, because sometimes some of the most enjoyment we've ever had from a racehorse is when they're retired and moved on to a second career.
I love that answer, and I know this is one that no one likes to answer, and I even made Ciaran ask. I asked him this question, but do you have a favorite My Racehorse, and why?
I do. So the answer, the easy answer is Authentic. I mean, Authentic did something incredible. He won the freaking Kentucky Derby for 5,314 people. It was amazing. But you never know why a horse is going to fully get you. So we have a horse right now, 63 caliber, a gun runner, and she's got all the heart in the world. and she just won't lose. If she's in the race, she does not lose. And so I like that. I like the tenacity. I like the will to win. I like the fact that she loves horse racing. So for me right now, she's my favorite. I mean, Authentic's always going to hold a special place for me, for the business, for me personally. But right now, it's all about 63 caliber.
Okay, well, Michael, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone tuning in. I'll wrap it up really quick. I'm going to steal your mic away.
Cool. Thank you.
We're getting really tech heavy now. We've got our little mini mic and everything. So thank you to Michael. Thank you to all for tuning in. Thank you to Ciaran. A huge thank you to Caitlin, our events manager. This has been such an exciting day. We're doing it all over again tomorrow. So please let me know what you want to see in the comments. DM us. I love to hear from you guys to see what you want to see. And we'll see you tomorrow.